Joseph draws beautifully, and it's like an effortless thing. It's something, it's a skill that he has to work on over a period of time, but that's something that was given to him through my genetic traits and yours as well. Now, all I'm just trying to show is that there are things that there are little genetic defects and traits that are passed down to us through our genes, but also through the environments that we live in as well. Now, these are things, the genetic traits and defects are things that can change over a period of time. Remember with Willy Lynch, he said that the cycle that he had developed, which was to put the male against the female, the older against the younger, the darker against the lighter, and so on and so on and so on, he said that you can perpetuate it over generations based on giving the people a different mindset. In giving them a different mindset, it actually changed their genetic makeup. So it changed the way that they were, and it changed the people that we were. So we came from being a confident people who were able to build, who were master builders, very creative, very positive, to people who aren't sure of ourselves, don't know who we are actually functioning less at a rate which is less than what we can do based on how we've been taught and trained, and also the environment.
So we're going back to this disassembly line, basically. When you're talking about Willy Lynch, you're talking about the disassembly line. He was the factory owner, yeah. So therefore, he was the overseer of that whole break up the black community into sections and get the different sections working on the disassembly and passing on the disassembly bit by bit by bit. And this is what we're seeing today, you know, which is what we're calling a genetic trait. Is that what you're saying? You call it a genetic trait?
I'm saying no, that those are traits that are being passed down. They become genetic traits because a genetic trait is something. It's like a germ within the seed of the sperm and in the egg that is passed down over generations. So it becomes part of your makeup.
How about a spiritual genetic trait then?
Of course.
Passed down in the seed of the mindset.
Of course. But that's exactly what happens, because form follows function. So if you function as a slave, then what happens is your form changes into that of a slave.
To help you to do that.
Right. To facilitate what you're doing, and that's exactly what I was going to say. When the Caucasian was run from the east and put into the west, some of their genetic traits of their faces changed and their bodies changed. So their noses were broader, but then they narrowed because the environment that we lived in, the nose and the nasal hair, in order to try and keep
north,
and the Western civilization, in order for their bodies to be able to conserve heat more, their noses narrowed in order to trap the heat in there. Ours was broad because it needs to keep us cool. Do you know what I'm saying? So but you see, again, they're beautiful noses because each of us have been given a different shape.
Yeah, but when we was coming up, we hated our noses. We hated our noses and we hated our lips. And we tried to walk and put our backside in. Yeah. And some of us are doing that on another level today, you know, with the way that we are dressing and the blue eye contacts and the long hair, and some of us are still doing that, even in 2007.
Yeah, but the reason why we're...
But we don't see it as that. We don't see the disassembly. Yeah. We see it as this is normal. Yeah. So if anybody talks about it, you know, too tough, you know, you're liable to get a slap. You're liable to get, you know, harsh words flung after you. Yeah. In the realm of stopping the killing. To me, this is all part of stopping the killing. Exactly,
and that's really what it's about. And you're right that we don't like those things. We've been trained. A family member of mine, who shall remain nameless, what she said when Elijah was born, she said his nose is broad. You need to go like that. You need to straighten it, and then that way it will be like yours, or be like my sister's. Yeah. And my sister's nose is
your nose straightened, obviously, sister.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I did. My mum said she didn't do my nose, but who's to say that my nose is better than your nose? It's
only that's how it's seen, though, isn't
exactly.
It? That's how it's styled.
Exactly.
We went to L. It's only one of us that employ.
That's right.
Based upon noses.
That's right.
If at all.
That's right. And that again is because we've been taught to hate ourselves. And as a mother, whatever I think, brothers and sisters, while I'm pregnant, all of those thoughts and feelings go down into the womb, And it doesn't matter whether I feel it about my husband or I feel it about the man in the shop who's rude to me. If I feel feelings of hatred, all the baby picks up are the feelings of hatred, and they automatically think that it's them that the hatred is geared towards. How do we know that? Because as children, when we hear our parents arguing, what do we think? We automatically think that they're arguing about me. Oh my goodness, it's my fault, I done this, I done. It's only as we grow and develop do we start to be able to disassociate that, hold on, they're not arguing about me, they're arguing about something else.
But that's another interesting point. You say that the children always pull it back to them. If the parents are arguing, they're arguing about me. If there's trouble in the community, it's something to do with me. I am at the centre of it somehow. And it's very interesting with the meeting that we went to, and you know, we have these black meetings where we're trying to look at stopping the killing. And it's very interesting that the people, the various Willy Lynch dissected disassembly line that appeared at this meeting, everybody thought that it was about them.
Yeah.
So the older generation thought it was about them. The younger generation saying, no, well, it's our time now. The women are saying, well, no, it's because of their brothers. The brothers are saying, no, well, it's because of the... So everybody's, you know, decompartmentalizing the problem, breaking it down and putting it in a little bubble and saying, well, it's us, it's our time now to do, and it's our time to fix, and it's our time to take charge of, when we're not seeing the whole picture, you know. And I have a problem with that.
Of course, I have
a problem with that, and I need to, we as a people need to find a way to realize and understand that it is a whole picture. We're all on this vehicle and we're all traveling through this life together. So it can't be just about me.
That's right.
It can't be my time. You saying it's my time. So what about our seniors? How can it be your time when the seniors are still here?
Yeah.
How can it be your time when we're still here and we're supposed to be preparing a way for you? Yeah. So until we start to see the whole, we're just going to be scribbling around in the dark.
And you're right, and that's absolutely right, because a sign of immaturity is that we always bring things back to ourselves. It's only as we grow and develop and as we mature as people do we start realising that there's other people. As a baby, you don't, as a baby, as a newborn baby, you don't care how many other people are in the house. When you want your milk, you want your milk.
Yes.
As a little child, you don't care whether anybody else is going to have their dinner. I want my dinner and I want it now. So, again, you know, as children, as babies and children, we don't consider other people. But as we grow and mature, if we're teaching our children properly, we're teaching them to consider other people. Excuse me, don't talk to your brother like that. Excuse me, can you make sure that you don't just wash your bowl, wash everything that's in the sink? Why? So that the next person who comes along, they can have a clean sink to start off with, just the same way as you did. Do you understand what I'm saying? Hold on, don't hit your brother like that. Don't hit your brother because you wouldn't like it if you were hit either. So we're actually teaching them how to be compassionate towards one another and how to be patient with one another. We're actually teaching them that other people have feelings.